Welcome everybody to the third episode of the Crazy Meeples Board Game Podcast.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Braden. Have you ever wanted to build your own medieval town? Well, now you can.
Why, yes, Braden, I have.
Well, now you can with Carcasonne, tile placing board game.
Based on the city in France.
Yeah. Carcassonne is a tile placing board game where you can score points in order to win. There's a couple ways to do that by placing roads, cities, monasteries, and farming. It's pretty easy.
That's true.
Yeah, let's get into it. Setup for this game is really simple. It is a 2 to 5 player game. Usually takes about a half an hour. First part of setup, get everything out of the box. Second part of setup is each player chooses a color. You have 5 colors: green, red, yellow, blue, or black. Once you choose your color, everyone will put one meeple on the scoreboard to represent your points. And then you find your special black back-sided tile. That was a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Freaking tongue twister right there. Easy way to find it is it has a city and a road on it. And that is your starting tile. After that, you just shuffle up the remainder of the tiles, split them into even piles, and then you guys are ready to play. Playing is really easy. On your turn, all you do is you grab a tile from one of the stacks, take a look at it, and then you add on to your starting tile, however way you want. There's a couple legal things that you can have to worry about. City has to go on a city connecting, so you cannot have a road going straight into a city. That does not work. Grass touching grass works out, or if it is a road piece, road touching road. Pretty simple. After that, what you do is you take your color meeple, and then you can put it anywhere on your tile. And then it is the next person's turn.
Okay. Now, some tiles, once have different ways of placing your guy, and they provide different ways of scoring. Braden already showed you by placing it in the city. A city gets scored when all the areas have been complete. You can also place, if this was the tile I placed, like on this one, you can put it on a road. And roads continue to build as you go along until they end on both ends, like this. And then they would score. One thing to note with these here is that roads do not go through them, but they do end here at these individual city spots right here. So like that would end it. There are also tiles like this that have what is called a
Monastery
for
the monks, yep.
Or cloister, as they say in French. And what's interesting about these is if you decide to play this, like on this specific tile, you could either put a guy or on the road, or you could put it here on the monastery, and monasteries will score based not until all the tiles around it have been complete and totally filled. There's some special tiles that have special symbols. These will score you extra points as well. So if you have these in your city, they'll score you extra points.
The only other thing you can do is place a farmer. By doing that, you place your meeple laying face down on the grass anywhere on that tile. What the farmer does is at the end of the game, it will score 3 points for each city that is connected to the farm via the grass. That is every tile in the game without buying any of the expansions. So once you understand what those are, you guys are officially ready to play. So what happens is you take your starting tile, which is this one, And then you pick the first player. Doesn't matter who goes first. They will pick a tile from one of the stacks. Then play it somewhere where it is legal to play. Roads have to connect to roads. Cities have to connect to cities. That's pretty much all of the rule clarifications for that. Then you can take one of your colored meeples, place it anywhere on that tile you just played. Then it goes to the next person. He will then pick a tile. Here you go, sir. He will then play it, take his colored meeple, and play it anywhere on that tile. You keep going around until all the tiles are gone, and that signifies the game ends.
Now, one thing to note as well, we'll find another city here. You can get into situations like this where somebody is here, and they have not been connected, because only one person can be on a given feature. So if there's a road, there can only be one on a road. With your city, once your meeple is there, only one person can be in this city. But in the event that green started a city here, I started a city here, if green were to come along and put this city tile here, then green and red now share this city. And if they share the city, they both get the points. If there's a majority and it gets to a point as you're playing, and maybe whoever has the most number of meeples there, they would win the points, and the other person would not get any points.
That is correct. Another thing to note is you do not have to play a meeple if you do not want to. It is an optional thing. Or if you have a meeple on your given feature, then obviously you cannot place another meeple. So then you would just not do anything on that turn. How scoring works is as soon as you complete the feature, whether it be city, road, monastery, the only one that doesn't score right away is the farm. You will then, we'll do this for instance. If I have my meeple on this road, you then take your meeple off. The roads are 1 point each for each tile. So that would be 1, 2, 3. You take your colored meeple on the board, move it to that number of how many spaces. If you were to complete a city, you then take the meeples off the board. Then you count how many spaces are in your city. Cities are worth 2 points each per tile, plus 1 point for each of these blue shield icons in the corner. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. If you're sharing a city with someone, points, you both get those points. If you have more meeples in city or road, then you take over. So in this case, me and Ryan would both get 9 points. Same thing with the monasteries. If you were to complete the monastery, you would take your meeple off, score 9 points for how many tiles are around the monastery. The only thing you do not score is the farmers, which happens at the end when all of the tiles are placed. Once the last tile is placed, you will take any meeples off, and for any incomplete roads, you count how many tiles they are. The cities, I believe, is how many tiles it is as well. And then the farmers is how many completed cities are in your grassland are worth 3 points. And those are separated by the roads.
Yeah, that's the trickiest part of the game.
That is the trickiest part of the game. Farmers is an optional rule. You do not have to play with it. But we thought we'd throw it in because it's really not too complicated of a rule to understand. If you find yourself going around the board more than once, in order to keep track of your points, just change your orientation of the meeple. That's what we do. It's pretty easy.
When he's laying down, he's worth 50 points.
Yep. Like we said, game continues until all the tiles run out. Once you are out of meeples, the only thing you can do to get them back is by completing your projects. if you do run into an instance where you cannot complete your project, for instance, if this is here, you would have to have a city and a road meet there. If you cannot complete that city, your meeple is unfortunately stuck until the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you play Carcassonne. Can't think of any more rules to explain. It's a pretty simple game.
It's a pretty simple game. There's 1,000 expansions for this thing.
There's only
not
like
really
4.
1,000. Well, no, there's actually a lot more now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really? I didn't.
There is a lot of expansions for this, and they add little things to different ways of scoring and different things to put on there that you can do. For example, in my copy of the game, I have one called The Princess and the Dragon. So there's a dragon that roams the board, as well as a princess tile that gives you a special ability. So there's all kinds of things to add to the game to enjoy this. So this is a very great game to enjoy, and
it only takes about a half hour of your time. Cost-wise, it's on the less expensive side of games because, believe it or not, some board games can be expensive. I know that all too well. All too well.
So Brayden, so why is this game so special for you? You really wanted to do this one, and you said it had some special meaning for you.
I did want to talk about this one. First thing is, I'm a geek and a nerd. I really love the medieval themes, castles, knights, dragons, all that stuff, fun stuff. And this is what that is. It's a medieval themed tile placing game. Another reason why I wanted to talk about it was me and my wife, we play this, and she actually won't play this game with me anymore because I'm too mean at it, I guess. But I like to find my way to sneak into her cities and take them over and steal all her points, which I guess now that you think about it, it is kind of mean, but I have fun with it. It's nice and relaxing, doesn't take a lot of brain power to play. So after a long day at work, I can come home, get this out, 30 minutes, and it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I've had this game in my collection for over 15 years. Mm-hmm. And it keeps coming out year after year, and it's easy to play. It's easy to teach people I've been playing games with for a long time, to introducing new people. Plays well with little kids, adults. It's just a great, fun little game that can be, like you said, played in about 20 minutes.
Yep. And all the versions play about the same. So no matter what version you decide to go and play, the rules are basic. They might just have 1 or 2 extra additions for you to play. Like I saw Carcasonne Ghosts, and I've never played that one, but the only thing that seemed different was they had a ghost walking around the board, but the average play style was about the same from what I saw. But yeah, that's Carcassonne. Super easy game, less expensive side, and takes only about 30 minutes. And if you like knights and medieval stuff like me, this game will be right down your alley. And it's a game category called tile placing, so all you have to do is place your tile and place your meeple. That's pretty much it. Anything else you have to add about?
No, this is a wonderful game.
Yeah.
I highly recommend giving it a try.
Hope you guys had wonderful holidays with Thanksgiving being past us now. We look forward to next week's episode. We got something fun in store. And last thing we got to say is families that game together, stay together. Have a good night, guys.